Welcome to Chalk Talk, a weekly radio show featuring news and events from schools around Chester County. I'm Andrea Gomez, your host this week, and a communications specialist for the Chester County Intermediate Unit. The show is hosted weekly either by myself, Mary Curley, the Director of Communications for the CCIU, or staff from the Westchester Area School District and the Coatesville Area School District. This week we'll be discussing student support activities and preparation for the upcoming school year. Our guests are Marjorie Dawkins and Steve Brown from Chester County Futures, Catherine Hansen from the Chester County Technical College High School, and Jane Hirschberger, supervisor with the CCIU. Our first guests, Marjorie Dawkins and Steve Brown, will discuss the support services they provide to students with Chester County Futures. Catherine Hansen will discuss Skills USA, a student organization for TCHS students, and Jane Hirschberger will join us to talk about the CCIU's Migrant Education Program. Lastly, we'll fill you in on what's going on in Chester County schools. With the start of school just a few short weeks away, our focus on today's show will be the tremendous opportunities for student growth above and beyond classroom learning. Our first guest is a poverty prevention program providing academic, mentoring, and scholarship support for motivated, disadvantaged Chester County youth. Its goal is to provide our students the college readiness and life skills needed to be self-sufficient and to prosper. Joining us from Chester County Futures are Marjorie, Student Programs Manager, and Steve, Community Partnership Manager. Marjorie has been with the Chester County Futures for nearly 4 years, working first in the Development Department and then transitioning to the position of Student Programs Manager. And Steve Brown was recently brought on board by Chester County Futures as its Community Partnerships Manager. He's originally from Wilmington, Delaware, and spent 5 years living and working in Philadelphia after receiving his master's in education. He's excited to bring his classroom teaching and nonprofit experience to CCF, and we're thrilled to have both of you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
So let's just get started. Can you describe Chester County Futures to our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. Chester County Futures provides academic enrichment, mentoring, and scholarship support to economically disadvantaged students throughout the county. We serve in 5 school districts: Coatesville, Oxford, Kennett, Phoenixville, and Westchester. Our students are middle schoolers, high schoolers, and college students.
And so when was the organization founded?
Well, we were founded 19 years ago in 1996 by a group of philanthropic community members who just wanted to support motivated, underserved, disadvantaged students.
And so elaborating on that a little bit with its history, how did you identify the students that are in need or the districts that you partner with?
Okay. Well, we actually began by serving only 13 high school students in just 2 school districts, Coatesville and Kennett. And now, 19 years later, we're serving about 250 middle and high school students throughout the county, and then an additional 160 plus college students in 5 school districts. We identify our students. We work with the school districts in identifying students. Guidance counselors will recommend students, and then we invite them to an informational meeting where we hand out applications, discuss Chester County Futures, what we're all about, hand out applications. The application requires 2 teacher recommendations. So these students come to us, they want to be a part of Chester County Futures, and their teachers think highly of them. They have to maintain a C average to continue enrollment in our program. And they need to attend. They need to be active participants. That's a requirement.
I do think you mentioned this right at the top, but what is the specific mission of Chester County Futures?
Yes.
You can just maybe repeat that.
Yes. Our mission is to motivate economically disadvantaged youth to succeed in school, higher education, and life by providing comprehensive academic support, mentoring, and scholarships. It sounds a little bit different from what you said because we've just gone through a strategic planning process.
Yeah.
So it's been slightly reworded. And I have to say we're very excited because through this process, we have also, the board has identified a vision for Chester County Futures. And that's driving our programming and the staff, our body as a whole. And our vision is that every child in Chester County will be prepared for and have access to the education and supports needed to become self-reliant, productive members of society.
It's an important vision.
It is.
You do, you have a big job. Big job.
It's our privilege to do it, really.
And so how is your mission and vision realized in some of the programs and services that you provide?
Okay. Our students are economically disadvantaged. And in fact, 85% of them are first-generation college goers. Excuse me. With that comes some inherent knowledge and skills gaps. It's our job, and we use our programming to fill in those gaps. For middle schoolers, that is done through enrichment camps and regular meetings during the school day with staff and volunteers. For high schoolers, it gets a little bit more intensive. And it looks different. We meet with them in after-school classes on a weekly basis. We take them to corporate site visits. We take them to college visits. They participate in community volunteerism. It's a very holistic and comprehensive approach. For our high schoolers, we're delighted that our staff maintains office hours in the schools. We work closely with the schools, and they like to have us there, but our staff is available for the students during the school day to ask those one-off questions. You know, this class is not going well, I'm nervous about the test. That's an important part of our programming. For our college students, when students complete all 4 years of our high school programming, our college students are eligible to receive scholarship funds. They need to be full-time enrolled, and they need to keep their grades up, of course, but there are scholarship funds for them.
You mentioned that some of the students are first-time generation college students. Do you provide support with that transition at all into college life, or?
We do. We're conscious of the additional needs that first-generation college goers go through. Many of their parents are Spanish-speaking, so we, of course, make sure that there's no lack of communication. We provide translated services. We walk our students through the process. And this is particularly important for these first-generation college goers. When you hit 11th and 12th grade, it's hands-on help, researching colleges, applying to colleges, doing the FAFSA, which is so confusing.
Oh, yes.
I've done it twice with my daughters. It's very confusing. So our staff actually walks our students through this process, and we make sure that they're hitting the deadlines, that their parents understand their contribution to the process. So absolutely, we're very conscious of that.
And so the focus of your organization is providing support to these disadvantaged Chester County youth. So can you just tell us a little bit about your students? You did mention how many students, but just some examples of maybe what a student's involvement with the CCF might be. You mentioned, for instance, that they have office hours in the high school that they can go to. Is that more of a mentoring relationship, or is that what kind of relationship does that come out as?
Okay. Well, I'll start if you want to look at what it would be like to be a Chester County Futures student.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If they started in middle school, they'd be attending enrichment camps. We hold 3 to 4 enrichment camps per year. We partner with local corporations. Those corporations provide their employees as volunteers, and they work directly with our students. That exposes our students to different careers. We prompt these professionals to talk about the educational path that got them to where they are today. So during those enrichment camps, these fun interactive enrichment camps, they're being exposed to careers, educations, as well as learning different life skills, team building, collaboration, all these things that are critical to academic and life success. When you move into high school, it gets, as I said, it gets more intensive. They're meeting on a weekly basis. There's instruction on academic skills, understanding your learning style, developing good study habits, SAT prep. And then we also delve into life skills, collaboration, as I said, leadership, and we always include financial literacy. We understand that that's critical to long-term financial stability. Again, I mentioned corporate site visits and college visits. We have a College and Career Expo. I would like to take a moment to highlight our program staff because they're a critical component. As you said, they're available during the office hours. Our staff, they truly invest in these students. They care about them. They learn their dreams. They learn their struggles, both academic and personal, and they take it upon themselves to guide the students through the high school experience and into college. It's really a distinguishing characteristic of our programming. So I would be remiss to not mention our very talented, dedicated staff.
You said that you were founded 19 years ago, correct? So do you have students who come back and their success stories, and they just come in and give you hugs or
Oh,
show you what they've accomplished in their lives?
Yes, absolutely. During the scholarship distribution period, they come and they have to visit us twice a year, so we get to see their faces. We ask them, so what's going well with college? What's going wrong? How can we help? And then they come in with their diploma at the end, and it's a celebration.
Yeah.
It's a celebration.
So you were talking about some of these enrichment programs. I'm assuming you're doing some during the summer months when there's some downtime. So what have your students been up to specifically? Any specific enrichment programs that you want to highlight?
Absolutely. So we know that the summer is such an important time in the students' lives because so many of them are just sitting around the house, not really getting any stimulation.
Right.
And so we're always trying to keep ours as productive as possible. So this summer so far, we are already geared up for a couple of major events during the summer. Number one, as Marjorie already mentioned, our middle school students get exposure to an enrichment summer camp. This year is being partnered with Lockheed Martin, which is a very close corporate contact of ours. They are sending volunteer employees to come out to Delaware County Community College's campus to meet with 35 of our middle schoolers to do a whole presentation and workshop on physics and rocketry. Our students are actually going to be able to shoot off rockets at the end, an incredible expo at the end. And so it's really a great opportunity for our students, not only to make some new friends, but really learn, what is it like to work for a corporation? Who is an engineer? Things like that. As Marjorie mentioned, the College and Career Expo is our 9th annual one. DCCC is also our host for that as well, so we're very indebted to them. Amazing opportunity for all 250 of our students to come out and to really learn, what is it like to go through an interview for colleges? What is it like to, meet with a corporate representative and learn more about what the day-to-day operations are? So we're always trying to keep them as busy as possible.
And you're the newest member of the team?
I am. I'm the baby.
All right. So can you tell us about the mentoring program at all?
Absolutely. So the mentoring program we're extremely excited about. It already exists, and we have about 30 wonderful, generous mentors already on board. It's something that we are looking to really revamp for this year and really try to pretty much double it in size. The way that the program works is that these mentors have contacted us either through corporate partnerships or just through good word of mouth or from our website, and they want to get involved with the program and build a relationship with a student. And so what we do is we look through our student body and we find students that we think would be a good match for these mentors, either based on personality or based on mutual interests. And so these mentors and these mentees then create this relationship. Mentors check in about once a week just to see how the students are doing, just a quick text message or a phone call just to make sure they're keeping on top of their business. Once a month, they actually get together in person to do face-to-face meetings. They do everything from go to baseball games or go to art museums. They've gone canoeing down the Susquehanna River. They've gone to college visits before as well. So really anything that the mentor and the mentee think is going to be a valuable experience together.
So how would if someone's listening and they think, that sounds amazing, how would they maybe become a mentor?
Good. I certainly hope that there are. And what they would do is go onto our website, ccfutures.org, and on that website is a whole section on volunteering, and they can learn more about what the mentoring process is like. My email is on there, and so they can feel free to email or call me because we would love to get some more wonderful, generous people as part of the mentoring program.
That's great. I hope that people out there listening, you should get in contact.
I should add, it is a 1-year commitment that we ask for with an option to re-up for a second year.
All right, and then can they do it longer than 2 years? Or
we absolutely have some mentors who have gotten their students in 9th grade and said, I am not letting go, and they are now watching them graduate from high school. So it's a really wonderful relationship that they can build.
And so you did mention Lockheed Martin and how they're partnering with this enrichment camp. What is your relationship with the organization, with other local businesses and corporations?
I would say there are two major ways that different businesses and corporations can get involved. We are a 100% privately funded nonprofit, and so obviously any sort of donations are always very much receptive. But so we, in terms of finances, we are an EITC approved program, and so we do receive funding from that way. We also receive just a variety of different corporate donations and gifts. We also have a number of special events that occur during the school year where we invite corporations to sponsor those events. So financially, those are the ways. In terms of more volunteer output, we do invite, and I think Marjorie mentioned this before, we do invite for our corporate friends to come out to our classrooms and do classroom presentations where students can really learn more about what's it like to work for the corporation or sort of an area of expertise. We have people who come in to do workshops on resume writing, on interview skills. All these were really valuable skills that we want our students to learn.
So we did talk about volunteering in terms of the mentorship program. If someone is looking for something with less of a time commitment, are there those opportunities as well?
Absolutely. There are some that are only 1 day's worth. There are some that are 1 week's worth. As I mentioned, our College and Career Expo, we have a bunch of volunteers who are signed up for that just for 1 day to chaperone the students and help them walk around. As the year goes on our website, on our Facebook page, in our newsletter, which you can sign up for on our website, you'll be able to get updates about a bunch of different amazing events that people can come to sign up for.
And are there any upcoming events that you want to highlight?
Sure. So this upcoming fall and winter, we have 2 major events coming up. One is a wine tasting and dinner that we host, which always has a nice turnout. And then another one is the Young Professionals Bowling event. Always a great time for people to come out for a fun night and network and get to know each other, and also a great way to contribute to the program.
Okay. So just to wrap up, I do want to just ask you where people can find out more information, if there's a website, if there's an email address you want to share, just about Chester County Futures.
Sure. So again, ccfutures.org is our website. If you search for Chester County Futures on Facebook, you can find our Facebook page. We're always looking for more likes there. And again, signing up for our newsletter really gives you great access to what are the current happenings around the organization.
All right. Well, thank you, Steve and Marjorie, for your time today. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk with Jane Hirschberger, the Supervisor of Multicultural Support Programs for the CCIU, and we'll be talking to her about the CCIU's Migrant Education Program. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.